So it's finally happening. Etoro is now available for both stocks and cryptocurrency to the majority of the US. But before you all rush and scramble to sign up with Etoro and copy the first good-looking guy with a beard you see, there's a few things you need to know, especially when it comes to the copy trading feature. Etoro is without a shadow of a doubt one of the most popular investing apps here in Europe, and now it's set its sights on conquering the US, already being available in 46 states. Etoro considers itself to be the world's largest social trading platform where investors can interact with each other discussing opinions on potential investments, which has clearly been one of the keys to eToro's success when it introduced this feature back in 2015. But before then, back in 2010, eToro introduced something called the Copy Trader, where you can go and copy your favorite investor directly. When they make a trade, you make a trade, in perfect harmony. Whether you're a beginner learning the basics or you simply don't have time to watch the markets, now it's easy to leverage other traders' expertise. With Copy Trader, you can automatically cop top performing traders instantly, replicating their trading in your own portfolio, which sounds fantastic, potentially better returns with much less work. So what's the catch? Well, the catch is you need to go and smash the like button, but copy trading is fantastic provided you do it in the right way. And that's why I want to give you 5 hacks or 5 tips on how to find the perfect person to copy in your investing portfolio, making sure their goals and your goals align and you have the best chance of seeing decent returns in your portfolio. And I'm also going to leave you with a super hack which hardly anybody is taking advantage of on the platform. So now jumping straight into the first hack or the first tip, and that is, simply put, reviewing the person's portfolio, which may sound simple enough, but after speaking to people in our chat room, there's some vital points being missed. So let's say you've gone and signed up with Etoro and you're now on your platform. If we go over to one of our test portfolios and we go down and click on Discover, you will see just down here we've got the copy trader section there. If we click on the view all, you'll see all the copy traders right there. You've got some good looking people right at the top because people tend to like to look at good looking faces. And yes, I guess that's why you're here looking at mine. But here you can go in and you can select by country, you can select if they're a crypto or commodity investor, and you can filter out whoever you want to look at. Now this bloke here seems to have a great set of hair, so let's go and have a look at Etoro. Now the first page you come on is called the feed, and in the feed it's basically a bit like a Facebook wall where you go on and you see what the person is talking about. It's a little bit different to Facebook where you have Susan sharing a cat video, although I'm sure there is cat videos also on Etoro because it is a social media platform and those little furballs are everywhere. But here you can see some very basic information. For example, we can click on see more. We can see that the person's got a number 3 risk score and also a little bit about themselves. Now, if we go over to stats, which is where the information gets a little bit more interesting, we can see that this person has been investing for a hell of a long time. In fact, started in 2015 on the platform, and you can see his steady returns right there, along with his month-by-month performance. You can also see the annual growth here, like 7.1 so far for this year, but bearing in mind this annual figure is not a reflection on what you would have made if you'd invested at the beginning of the year. And I'll talk about that more in just a second when we look at the chart. If you then scroll down, you'll see that this guy has a risk score of 3 out of 10, 10 being the highest you could possibly get. But I want to clarify here that just because you're a higher risk score doesn't necessarily mean you're a bad investor. Of course, in most cases it will, but the way eToro justify their risk score is more on volatility rather than the assets you hold. For example, if you just bought a very slow moving currency or just held majority of your funds in cash, your volatility score would be very low. You might even be a 1 or a 2, but you are pretty much guaranteed with that process to lose out against inflation and more so not beat the market. So just bearing in mind, if you see somebody as a level 1 on the risk score, it doesn't mean it's a sure bet and you're guaranteed to make money. You also see here how many copiers the guy has, 520, and the amount of money that is following his trades. Now for me, the most important feature on this page is the trading aspect. We can see that he's made a total of 604 trades, his average profit, his average loss, and he's profitable 55% of the time, which, believe it or not, is actually very good. You can also see at the bottom here how many trades he does per week. His average holding time is 6 days. So this guy's a very active trader. How long he's been active since, and of course, how many profitable weeks. You then have his portfolio tab where you can go and see exactly what the person is currently holding. Now, obviously, this guy is more of a trader, so he's buying on trend rather than holding for the long term like I do. And this is something you need to weigh up when you're looking at copying somebody for investing. For example, if you don't believe in crypto or something like AMC or GameStop and the whole short squeeze theory, and you see somebody's 50% in GameStop, then that might turn you off to copy this person, and you can go and try and find someone else. Now, the big one is the chart, like I mentioned. If you look at the chart, you can see this person's total performance. Now, a big top tip here is to extend the chart and go over the last 2 years. I think eToro's default position is 1 year, so you can actually see what the person has been doing. And right now, that's a great feature, although I'd love eToro to extend that 2 years to maybe 5 years, or at least until how long the person's been on the platform, because it would make sense and show a clearer picture. So you can see here the whole drop in COVID. You can see how he managed it. He lost about 35%, which is pretty much, you know, everybody at this time in the world was losing money. He then recovered, and now he's steady away. But what this shows is, if you read at the bottom here, $10,000 to copy this person, and you invested 2 years ago, you would only be up around about 8% on your current investment. So your total investment of 10,000 would be worth $10,807. If you then go and check, for example, the last 12 months, the last year, you put in 10 grand then, you'd now have 11,304, for example, and so on and so forth. So this paints a much clearer picture, although past performance, of course, does not indicate future results at all. It just shows you how your money would have grown. Whereas if you go back and look at this guy's performance, you will see in a statistics page, it doesn't necessarily match up. He's actually showing that it's slightly different here with 7% and a 7%, whereas on his actual portfolio, it's just over 10. In my opinion, a much clearer depiction of what you could have got would be this one here. But again, remember, past performance does not indicate potential future results at all in any way, shape, or form. Now, that's the end of hack number 1. Before we move on to hack number 2, 3, 4, 5, and of course the big super hack, I just wanted to say, if you do want to go and sign up with eToro, there's 2 links down on the pinned comment, one for the US, one for the rest of the world. Sign up with the relevant link, deposit, make a trade, and then as an eToro user, you then get a lifetime pass to our eToro Discord chat room. So if you want to come in there and talk to me directly, sign up via eToro on the links down on the pinned comment. Also, at the recording of this video, if you do go ahead and sign up and deposit $100, they're going to give you a $10 bonus, which is a very quick 10% just for depositing into your account. So if that floats your boat, again, go and check it out on the pinned comment. Now on to the second hack or tip. I mean, are they actually hacks or tips? Don't really know. But this is a very important aspect and something I touched on earlier and a lot of people are clearly missing. And that is, how long has this person been on the platform? And I don't mean in a way of going down to the stats of the person and seeing that he's been here since 2015. What I actually want to see is how consistent they have been, especially when the market has been crashing. Over the last 3 years or so, we've seen really crazy gains in pretty much every sector at some point. It's been near enough impossible for investors not to make money, as we've seen one of the craziest bull runs in history. So what I would recommend is that people go in and see how they managed over the last couple of years of dips and recessions. If we go back to 2018, we can see there was a bit of a dip at the end of the year there. How well did they fare? And we can see here they were still pretty damn consistent, and you can continue this process and see if it fits your appetite. For example, if we go back in and we click view all and then we just go down, I'm just going to try and find a random person that I mean. For example, this fella here has just been started trading on eToro a couple of months ago. In fact, less than a year. We can see that his risk score is currently a 1, but we don't know what he's going to do if the market continues crashing, albeit he's up 7% this month, which is pretty damn good. In his portfolio, we can see that he's basically just buying bog standard ETFs. So yeah, of course his volatility is going to be very low, meaning his risk score is low, but we don't know how he's going to manage if the market sort of falls 30% tomorrow. What will he do? How will he manage that situation? And that's why I mean, go and try and find somebody who's been on the platform for a long time and managed big corrections and crashes in the right way. Now, the next 3 hacks are sort of big red flags that people should be aware of and maybe potentially avoid. The first one being that if somebody is saying, copy me with no stop loss, or even a maximum stop loss. What a stop loss actually means is if the person's portfolio falls a certain amount, eToro will automatically close this position for you, limiting your downside risk. If you see somebody saying this, it doesn't mean, again, they're a risky investor or that their plan won't work out in the future. What it actually means is this person's probably got a very volatile portfolio and he expects his portfolio to drop in the future. So if you're not willing to sit through a lot of unrealized potential volatility, then maybe this is something you should also avoid. Now, hack number 4 is go in and see the person's losing trades. Now, I'm going to blur out this guy's name because he was a bit of a troll on me in the past when I was saying don't buy AMC and GameStop. But if we look, he is still holding GameStop. He's down 17%. He's been buying it since August last year and yet to see any return on his overall investment. But we also see every position is losing too. And that isn't saying this person's a bad investor or a bad trader. What I'm actually trying to get across here is maybe they're holding it for the long term, and that might still suit your needs. It's just something that maybe you reach out to them and ask them what their plan is on any said investment. So if you see somebody holding a loss for like 2 years, again, it doesn't mean they're a bad investor. It just means they've got a longer term mindset. And you need to ask yourself, are you also willing to sit in the red for 2 years as this person is waiting for the stock to go green? And again, there's no guarantee it will go green at all. And the final hack would be the big one everybody seems to make a mistake on, and that is be very careful when it comes to looking at investors with mega high returns, especially in a short period of time. For example, if we go into the copy trader section again and we look at gained at least 15% in the last quarter, we'll start seeing some crazy returns. Some have even made 5,000%. Absolute insanity. How does that even work? If you see something like this, of course, do not go and follow that person just because of this. Because if they're making a mega high gain in just 1 month, it means that there's a higher probability they're going to see an equal or even worse drop at some point in the future. Remember, the market will always humble investors, and even the legendary icon that is Warren Buffett, over the longevity of his career, has still only averaged 20% per year returns. So think about it. If you see a person like this, what are the chances you found the next Warren Buffett on steroids? It's just very unlikely. But also remember, it's cool to have losing trades. Even Warren Buffett has lost on investing. All great investors have lost money and been wrong on investments at some point in their career. Losing trades and investments are just part of the game. It's part of the process. So if you see an investor you're even copying go into the red, the key is not to freak out, but maybe just reassess the situation and see if it's still a good opportunity or not. Losing trades do happen. It's all about managing the risk when they do. Now, I did promise you an absolute super hack, a mega hack or tip, and I'm going to tell you exactly what that is. And this is something literally nobody is doing. I myself have a portfolio you can go and copy, but it is, again, specifically for set investors. And I have yet to see many people take advantage of this. I think literally 1 or 2 people have done this over the last year or so, and that is just reach out to the person that you think might be worth a copy. eToro literally provides you with a social media experience on your investing journey. Never be afraid to reach out to anybody who you think might be contradicting, might make sense. Don't be afraid to go and get the dialogue. And if you're thinking of copying someone, anyone at all, go and reach out to them first. Go and make sure, ask them some questions. If they respond, that's a great sign that they care about investing and more so care about growing your money too. If they're not willing to talk to you and not willing to justify a losing trade, then for me personally, that would be a big turnoff. So go ahead, reach out to these people, and I promise you it will give you a lot of confidence if you do go ahead and copy this person. Now, if you are going to go and run ahead and open an account, remember there's 2 links down in the pinned comment. Just make sure you use the correct one. And this video here will help you with 5 mega tips when using the platform itself. So if you're going to go and sign up, check out that video here. If you could do me a favor and go down in the comments and drop the code word, which is copy trading, drop that in the comments. It would greatly help me out. Good luck out there, people, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.